Have you tried to knit and then you gave up because it's just too complicated for your little fingers to figure out? Well, guess what? Me too. 2 separate times. First time, it gave me a headache. Second time, I couldn't figure out how to do the purl stitch in the continental style. I still don't know how to do it. This is actual footage of me trying to remember how to start the purl stitch. This is actual footage of me doing it wrong for the purpose of this video, but I wasn't doing it wrong on purpose. I was just trying to show you that I genuinely suck at doing these stitches. When I found out that there were other ways to knit, I kind of went down this little rabbit hole and I discovered something called cottage style. Sometimes it's referred to as lever style knitting. There aren't a lot of videos on it. I watched a couple, and then I want to take what I learned from those, I want to put them together in this one to kind of streamline it for you. So there are pros and cons to this knitting style. Let's start with the list of cons. You can't do it anywhere. You pretty much have to be in a perfect position for it to work. Sometimes it's a little bit awkward. Those are the cons. The pros are that you can knit easily, you can knit very quickly, and it's pretty satisfying. I don't know, I have a good time. When I find that right position and I'm just like going, it's really satisfying. My number one tip for you would be wear a big jacket or a cardigan, and here's why. The basis of this knitting is that you have one needle that's kind of like held stationary. You put it to the back of your seat so it's hitting your chair, so it's hitting your couch, whatever, and then the jacket just kind of helps it not move so much. Sometimes if I don't have a jacket on, I'll kind of like shove it into my armpit, and hopefully the material of my shirt is enough to stop it from just like going through. It's not fun when it goes all the way through. So you just got to find that perfect position, like I've said before. You take your needle, you shove it, you know, wherever it goes, and then you just start going. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Alrighty, for the knit stitch, you're going to start with your yarn on the bottom and your stationary needle on top. You want to start in between the 2 loops. You're right in the middle of the loops. Position 1, stationary needle on top. Position 2, stationary needle behind. You're going to go through that loop. You're going to go to your friend's house. You're going to pick up your friend. You're going to bring them back home with you, and then you're going to go to the party together. Position 1, in the front, on top. Position 2, in the back. Scoop it up, back to position 1, back on top. Now we just go to the party together. Alright, let me move my arm so I can do this quickly. It's my wrist is very awkward when I do this sometimes, but you know, that's the price we pay for the speed. Alright, position 1, on top. Go to your friend's house, pick them up, bring them back with you, go to the party. On top, in the back. In the back, back to the top. Top, back. Back, top. Definitely tied a knot in there, alright. There we go, that is the knit stitch. Why have I knitted so much? It's because I keep trying to film this and it keeps not being in focus, but let's try one more time. So for the purl stitch, you want to start a little bit differently. It's a different setup. So now our yarn is going to be on the top. Our yarn's on the top. Yarn's in the front. Our needle is in the back on the bottom. So we're not in between. We're at the very edge, at the very tip. We are behind, and our needle and our yarn, excuse me, is on top. Okay, so we're going from the back, and then we're scooping up to the front. We're going through that first loop. We are now the friend who's being picked up. We are going back to our friend's house, and we are going to the party. So one more time. Back to the front. Scoop. Front to the back. Back, front, front, back. This time we're doing a sort of right to left, back to front type situation with the yarn. Back, front, back. Position 1, position 2, back to position 1. Oops. That is the purl stitch. And so there you go. That's a quick little video on how to do a different knitting style that may or may not work for you. It's genuinely how I knit. Sometimes I'll go back to try to do it the normal, more traditional ways, and I just completely ruin my project and have to undo a couple of rows. I'm stuck knitting this way, but it has worked out well for me. I've made plenty of projects. There are no downsides, except I'm probably not going to be knitting on the beach, but I wasn't going to do that anyway. So I appreciate you checking this video out, and I'll see you next time.